Welcome everybody. Hi, I'm David E. Smith Jr. from Mathematics and Beyond, dealing with mental math. Mental mathematics is what I tell you all the time. It's so important for all of us, but particularly for your children. So in this segment, we're going to talk about awakening your child's genius through mathematics. Now, let me be clear. The hidden genius, and for parents, I'm saying this to you, no longer procrastinate. Okay, no longer procrastinate. Mathematics, okay, has the genius for your child. Your child is a genius, and it coincides with each other. So what I'm saying to you is the hidden genius is in every child. And now as parents, we all want to unlock the genius within our children. I know that. I get that. Guiding them towards the greatest potential that your child has. They all have that skill. I don't care who they are. They all have it. You have to recognize this. And if you do recognize it, what are you doing about it? It's time to do something about it. Many may believe that intelligence is something that is fixed or limited. But what if I told you there's a key to unlocking an extraordinary capacity for genius? And I tell you once, I tell you twice, I'll tell you all the time, that key is mathematics. And mathematics has often been what you might call misunderstood. It's misunderstood as a mere academic subject. It's far from the truth. That's why I call this segment Mathematics and Beyond. That's why I call this program Mathematics and Beyond, because in reality, it is the language of the universe. Okay? No matter where you go, no matter who you are, no matter what language you speak, math speaks a universal language. It's the very foundation of everything around us. So through math, children can unlock not only the mysteries of numbers, but also the mysteries of life itself. You could take philosophers, you could take orators. In the words of Galileo or Galilei, mathematics is the language of which God wrote the universe. It's a simple concept. So it doesn't matter where you are in the universe, who you're trying to communicate to in the universe. Now you can say from one country to another or one state to another. Listen, it goes much further than that, my friends. Much deeper than that. We're not going to get into that, but I think you know where I'm going with that. So today we'll explore just in thought, because I get interviews all the time, but I get emails, and this email that I'm referring to makes me want to explore how discovering math can turn an ordinary child into a child who can answer the profound questions about the world, the planet, and even the universe. See, a child who learns math is a child who discovers the power of focus, confidence, and creativity, and one who embarks on a journey that will take them far beyond an ordinary IQ. You see, as I said before, mathematics is the universal language. And so, if anything, it's good to have an understanding that what mathematics truly is. And it's a universal language that connects everything from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy. So it's not just about arithmetic or solving equations on paper. Math is the code that runs the entire universe. So whether it's patterns in nature, and I'm sure you could take a look at trees, and some of them have patterns, but you notice they're not the same. If you look at snowflakes, okay, they all have patterns, and they're not the same. But it's still all snow, right? So whether it's patterns in nature, the structure of the cosmos, or the technology that we use every day, math is the common thread. I mentioned that to you before about STEM. Science math, technology math, engineering math, and M is math. STEM is nothing but math. That's the code word for just mathematics. It's a code word. All those other things are there to confuse you, STEM, but at the end of the day, it's all math, right? So it has that common thread. So imagine your child being able to answer questions about how weather changes, why seasons happen, or even how space missions are calculated. Your child can do this. This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what I teach, right? To tell them that they can do this. So when a child understands math, they tap into the hidden language that explains all wonders, right? All wonders, not some, okay? All. Every scientific field uses math as its foundation. Again, not some, but all. Every scientific field uses math as its foundation. Now, the reason the weather is predictable, why economists can forecast prices, and why we can explore the stars is because of mathematical models that reveal how the world works. You know it and I know it. And that's why I can't reiterate enough that you got to get off the behind now and start making it happen. Don't wait till your child starts failing, because then they become frustrated in math, and then they don't want to do the math, and then next thing you know, you're stuck with a child that's going to has a fixed future. By introducing your child to math, you're giving them a skill, but you're not just giving them a skill. You're giving them a skill, and you're granting them access to understanding the entire universe. So if there's anything, a parent asks me, well, how do I sharpen the mind? How math sharpens that mind that you're talking about, because they understand it a little bit. Listen, one of the greatest benefits of learning math is how it sharpens that mind. Okay, just like you put a pencil into a sharpener, you gotta work it. You gotta work, and after a while, it comes out as a new pencil. But it sharpens it. Same thing with the mind. Math is a powerful tool for brain development. When your child solves a math problem, they're not just finding the answer. They're training their brain to focus, to be creative, and to think logically. So math teaches focus and concentration, because every problem requires attention to detail. And you know how that is at your workplace. You must pay attention to detail. I don't care what job you have. You must pay attention to detail to make sure you get it right. And as you know, I believe in teaching kids automation, because that's where it's going. Because a lot of times, a lot of companies don't want to use humans anymore because they don't pay attention to detail. They'd rather pay attention to their cell phone. So each step builds on the previous one, and children learn the value of discipline through this process. It's not only about getting the right answer, but also about about the journey of getting there. And so beyond that, solving mathematical problems, it really, if you want to know the truth, it boosts confidence in the child. There's an immense sense of accomplishment, I would say, when your child successfully works through a challenging problem. They have such an elated smile on their face, and that means they're getting it, and they have the ability to get it. This confidence transfers into other areas of life, making them feel more capable and more willing to take challenges. You see, creativity is another vital benefit of mathematics that I should say should not be overlooked. While math is rooted in logic, okay, there's a creativity in discovering new ways to approach problems. And trust me, there's so many problems that are out there that still need answers. So children learn that there is often more than one path to a solution. And what does that do? That forces innovation and out-of-the-box thinking. So perhaps most importantly, math pushes children to expand beyond an ordinary IQ. It's not about memorizing facts. It's about learning how to think critically and analytically. So the ability to solve complex problems and think logically, it only enhances cognitive abilities that go far beyond typical measures of intelligence. So if there's anything that I would just come about and say, real life applications of math and dealing with real life applications, consider the real world impact of math, I would say. Children often ask, why do I need to learn this? You know it, I know it. And when will I ever use this? Well, the answer is simple, okay? You'll use it everywhere. Okay, you will use it all the time, whether you realize it or not. Math is used in nearly every aspect of life, and when children understand this, their engagement with the subject grows. And it's your job to help them engage. Understanding weather and climate, like I said earlier, meteorology was one of my favorite subjects back in the day. Meteorologists use mathematical models to predict the weather. Okay, by learning math, children can grasp how these predictions work and why weather changes occur. And trust me, we're having a lot of changes in the weather right now. And we need genius children like your child to help us get this straight, figure it out, know what's coming, predictability. So predictability doesn't have to be just in, economics, but talking about economics, yes, mathematics helps predict prices. Economists use math, to model the fluctuation of market prices. A child who understands math can begin to predict trends and understand economic principles as well. You want the economy? Let's go to space exploration. You want to do that? Astronauts rely on math to calculate distances, fuel needs, and spacecraft trajectories. Imagine that you go into the moon and you don't know, or you think the moon is going to just stay there and wait for the astronaut. No, the moon is always moving. So you have to know the correct trajectory. You need to know the correct distance that you need to travel. It's all math. Math allows us to explore the stars, and it enables your child to imagine possibilities far beyond this earth. Everyday problem solving is what I'm talking about. All right. Whether it's managing time, understanding finances, or making decisions, math equips children with the skills to navigate the complexities of life. And through these examples, parents, I want to say to you, you can see that math isn't just about solving those equations, like I said. It's about solving life's greatest puzzles. The genius factor, and the genius factor starts with your child. I'm not talking about anybody else's child. I'm talking about your child, right? There are a lot of people who neglect math for their children. But I'm telling you, it helps to expand beyond the ordinary IQ. When a child masters math, their mind begins to operate on a higher level. It's a different vibration. It's a different resonance. Math expands their thinking, teaching them to what? Recognize patterns, approach problems systematically, and even embrace those challenges. And if you take a look at research, right? Take a look at research. Research has shown that math enhances reasoning skills and pattern recognition, both of which are essential for success in any field. So whether your child becomes a scientist, an artist, an entrepreneur, okay, the mathematical training will give them a competitive edge. See, let's just be clear. If there's anything that I was going to say here for today, and hopefully I answered that email, is math also prepares children to think creatively about problems and approach them in new ways, right? So this skill set is what differentiates extraordinary minds from ordinary ones. I tell you about how many mathematical scholarships are left on the table every year. Why? Because kids can't do their math. And many rely, many students rely on standard intelligence. But a child who learns math pushes the boundaries beyond their cognitive abilities, allowing them to think beyond their limitations. So if anything, parents, I encourage you to make that time now. Stop procrastinating. Listen, they can learn from my programs, but I don't care. Get your child into a program, right? Get your child into a program and understand why it's so important. Okay? Because, you can say to yourself as a parent, oh, well, you may be thinking, I'm not great at math, so how can I encourage my child? Well, the good news is you don't have to be an expert. The key is to make math fun, exciting, and accessible. You can introduce math to everyday activities like cooking, where you can measure the ingredients, shopping, understanding prices and discounts, or even creating what? Art with patterns and shapes. There are countless math-based games and puzzles that children love. Okay, that children love. And it can help build a strong mathematical foundation at the same time. So if anything, listen, take the time, stop for a moment, okay, and see what you can do about getting your child to do as well as they can in math. And you know what? Help them to discover their genius. And like I said, get them to do really well in math, and trust me, there's scholarships out there. Listen, do you want to pay that $100,000 a year for school, or do you want them to go for free? You have that opportunity. You invest now. It's like the car mechanic, see me now or see me later. But if you see him later, you know you're going to pay more. I'm David Smith. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.